Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something you've probably seen everywhere, from ancient texts to your social media feed, black seed oil. It's been around for literally thousands of years, but what's the real story behind all the hype?
And that's really the big question, isn't it? Can a remedy that's, 2,000 years old actually hold its own when we put it under a modern scientific microscope? We're going to see what the evidence really says.
Okay, first things first, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What is black seed oil? Well, it comes from these tiny little seeds of the Nigella sativa plant. You might also know it as black cumin. It's a plant that loves hot climates and, like we said, has a super long history.
And when I say a long history, I really mean it. This is not some new wellness trend that just blew up online, okay? We're talking about roots that go way, way back in human history.
I mean, think about it. This stuff was a staple in traditional medicine for literally thousands of years, all across Eastern Europe, Northern Africa, and Southwestern Asia. And when something is used by that many cultures for that long, well, that's exactly the kind of thing that makes modern scientists sit up and say, maybe there's something to this. So, okay, what's the magic here? If there are real benefits, what's the science behind it? What's hiding inside these little seeds that could be doing all the heavy lifting? Well, it really seems to boil down to one powerhouse compound, thymoquinone. You can think of it as the active ingredient, the star of the show. And researchers are pretty sure that its potent anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and even antibacterial powers are what's driving all the potential benefits we're about to get into. All right, so let's connect the dots. How do those properties translate into the health claims you always hear about? Let's start with a really popular one, skincare. Right, so because that thymoquinone can fight off microbes and calm things down, it makes perfect sense that one of the big areas of research is acne. The idea is pretty simple. It could tackle the bacteria and reduce that angry inflammation. And get this, one study turned up a number that's pretty hard to ignore. 78%. A 78% reduction. But a reduction in what exactly? So that 78% figure, it came from a 2020 study where people used a topical gel with black seed extract for 2 months. That's 60 days. And they saw a 78% drop in how severe their acne was. Now, that sounds amazing, right? But, and this is a big but, we have to remember this is just one study with a very specific gel. It's promising for sure, but it's not the final word. And it's not just about acne. There's also some chatter in the scientific community that it might actually help our bodies heal themselves. How? Well, animal studies point back to our friend thymoquinone. It seems to do a few things. It helps kickstart new tissue growth, it ramps up collagen production, which is like the scaffolding for your skin, and you guessed it, it fights off inflammation and bacteria that can get in the way of healing. I'm sure you've seen this one. You're walking down the aisle at the store and boom, with black seed oil, is written on shampoos and hair treatments. The big claim is healthier, stronger hair. So, is there any science to back that up? Okay, so the evidence here is what we'd call preliminary. It's still early days. There was one small study where a lotion with the extract seemed to make hair thicker and denser after 3 months. And another cool one put it head-to-head with other oils and found it was the most effective at slowing down hair loss. So, promising signs, but we definitely need bigger studies to know for sure. And the research isn't just skin deep either. Scientists are looking at what happens when you take it internally. There's some early research suggesting it might help with things like weight loss and keeping blood sugar in check. They're also exploring if it can help with risk factors for metabolic syndrome, things like cholesterol and blood pressure, and even if it could play a role in protecting the lungs of people with asthma. Okay, let's pause here because this next part is maybe the most important bit of the whole explainer. With all these potential upsides, it's super tempting to just run out and grab a bottle, right? But hold on. Before you even think about it, we have to talk about safety. And here's the absolute crucial thing you need to understand. The supplement world is kind of like the Wild West. Unlike a prescription drug, the FDA doesn't check these products for quality or purity, or even if the dose is accurate. So what's on the label might not actually be what's in the bottle. The quality can be all over the place from one brand to the next. And this right here just shows you how tricky that can be. Just look at the different dosages that were used in the actual scientific studies. For weight loss, they used one amount. For blood sugar, a totally different range. There is no one-size-fits-all standard dose, which makes trying to figure it out on your own really, really risky. So, because of all that uncertainty, there are a few rules you just can't break. Rule number 1, talk to a doctor, period. Rule number 2, if you do decide to try it, look for a bottle with a seal from a third-party tester, like NSF or USP. That's at least some guarantee of quality. And of course, you have to be extra careful if you're pregnant or if you have any kidney or liver issues.
All right, so we've looked at the ancient history, the modern science, and the critical safety stuff. Where does that leave us? What's the final verdict here? It's really a story of promise versus reality. On the promise side, you've got this incredible history and a powerful active compound that science has actually identified. But on the reality side, we just need more big, solid human studies. And then you have the reality that the quality isn't regulated and nobody's agreed on a standard dose. So what's the bottom line for you? It's pretty simple, really. Be a smart consumer. Respect the traditional wisdom. It's there for a reason. But balance it with what the science actually says today. And above all else, put your safety first. Always. So, could this ancient seed be part of your modern wellness routine? Well, that's a question only you can really answer. But please, make sure you answer it only after you've done the research and, you know what's coming, talked it over with your doctor.
Thanks so much for sticking with us for this explainer.